invariably, one of the questions I always get asked the most by people, especially when they're looking at their natal chart for the first time or they're not necessarily familiar with their natal chart like that, is what does it mean when I have an empty house? So, just by way of basic astrology information, right? Or basic natal chart information, your natal chart is made up of zodiac signs, houses, planets, and a whole bunch of other stuff, right? Aspects. I could go on and on about what comprises a natal chart. But the pizza looking slices are the houses, right? And the planets are typically contained within a house. But looking at your natal chart, you'll notice that some houses are empty. Now, you'll know that the planets are the topics, right? The houses are the areas of life. So if there is no planet in a house, what exactly does that mean? Enter planetary rulerships. Astrology always has an answer for everything. And so when it comes to empty houses in your natal chart, it's all about planetary rulerships. So in this video, I will be breaking down planetary rulerships so that you can understand what they mean in your natal chart, specifically when you have an empty house. All right, so stick around. You definitely don't want to miss this. Hello, my loves. As always, I hope that this video finds you well and in excellent spirits. If this is our first time meeting, welcome. My name is Mel. I'm a professional astrologer, and I'm the founder of Divine Feminine Works, where I help people unlock their divinity and discover their magic. And as always, if you are returning, welcome back. So today's video is all about planetary rulerships and how this concept plays out in your natal chart. Like I said in the intro, we all have empty houses in our charts, but it doesn't mean that that area of life has nothing going on. Instead, when you have an empty house in your natal chart, you look to the planetary ruler. All right, so let's get into exactly what that is and how you can use it to further decipher your natal chart. All right, so the concept of planetary rulership is really simple. Essentially, every zodiac sign has a ruling planet. And this is important because the energy of that planet helps give more meaning, context, and color to the energy of the zodiac sign. And when we have more information about the zodiac sign, especially like as it relates to our natal chart, we're able to get more information, specifically more information about ourselves, our lives, our relationships, all that good stuff. So it's literally about memorizing which planets are associated with which zodiac signs. So I will explain them right now. However, I have created a planetary rulerships cheat sheet, which you can get for free. The link to that will be pinned in the comment section down below. All right. So first off, we start with Aries, and Aries is ruled by Mars. And this should come as no surprise because Mars is a fiery planet and Aries is definitely a fiery sign. Thereafter, we have Taurus, and Taurus is ruled by Venus, hence why Taurus loves luxury and comfort and beautiful things also. Thereafter, we have Gemini, and the ruling planet for Gemini is Mercury, which should also make a lot of sense because Gemini is chatty, it's social, and Mercury is a planet of ideas and communication that's typically associated with speed and, fleeing about like a social butterfly. Thereafter, we have Cancer, and Cancer is ruled by the moon. This should make a lot of sense as well because Cancers are known to be moody. Their emotions can go from high to low, sort of like the tides of the ocean. So the fact that they are ruled by the moon makes complete sense. Next up, we've got Leo. And this should also come as no surprise. Leo is ruled by the sun. The sun is the star of the solar system. Everything revolves around the sun. Hence why Leo energy is the way that it is. Its main character, it's watch me shine, it's very attention seeking, so on and so forth. Thereafter, we have Virgo, and the ruler of Virgo is Mercury. Now, whereas Gemini is ruled by Mercury, right? And it's all about sort of speed of communication and being social. Because Mercury is the planet of ideas and communication, specifically ideas, right? Virgo is known as the analyst because Virgo sort of has big brain energy and is able to break down and analyze a lot of information. Thereafter, we have Libra, and Libra is ruled by Venus. And so, whereas Taurus, who is also ruled by Venus, is concerned with beauty and luxury, Libra is also concerned with those things. However, Libra is very much about fairness and equality, which is one of the hallmark characteristics of Venus energy. Thereafter, we have Scorpio. And Scorpio is special because it has two rulers. The first is the traditional ruler of Scorpio, which is Mars. So, Scorpio and Aries share a ruler. And while Scorpio is a water sign, the fact that it is ruled by Mars sort of makes it a fiery water sign. Scorpio is also ruled by Pluto. Now, Scorpio is deep, has lots to do with death and endings, which is completely the realm of Pluto. Thereafter, we have Sagittarius, and Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, which is expansive. It's larger than life and adventure seeking. Thereafter, we have Capricorn. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. So, Capricorn is strict. It's all about structure, tradition. It's all about limitations and obstacles, but by far, it's authoritarian, very much boss like energy. Thereafter, we have Aquarius. And Aquarius is also special because it has two ruling planets as well. The traditional ruler of Aquarius is Saturn. So it shares that with Capricorn, right? And the way that Capricorn, or I should say, the way that Saturn is expressed in Aquarius is that Aquarius is very much aware of limits and boundaries and structure. However, the modern ruler of Aquarius is Uranus. And so Uranus is all about freedom and liberation. So while Aquarius is very much aware of boundaries, it's all about breaking them. And then finally, we get to Pisces, and Pisces also has two ruling planets. The traditional ruler of Pisces is Jupiter. So, that larger than life energy that Sagittarius has is also present in the sign of Pisces. However, the modern ruler of Pisces is Neptune, and Neptune has everything to do with other worlds. It has very esoteric and spiritual notes to it, hence why Pisces is the way that it is. All right. So now that we've gone through all of the planetary rulerships, let's get into some practical application of planetary rulerships as it relates to your natal chart. So, like I mentioned before, one of the questions I always get is what happens if I have an empty house in my natal chart? This is where planetary rulerships come in because even though you don't have any planets which represent the topics, right, as they pertain to the natal chart, in a particular house, the planetary ruler of that house or that zodiac sign, I should say, is what's going to tell you information about that. So let's say you have your second house, which is the house of money and material possessions, and it happens to be empty, right? So let's say you are a Gemini rising, and so you have Cancer as your second house. Now, the planetary ruler of Cancer is the moon. So when it comes to money matters, when it comes to your assets, to your possessions, the energy of the moon is going to be super important. So, generally speaking, when it comes to money, with Cancer as your second house ruled by the moon, you tend to be very sensitive, nurturing, and perhaps the way that you make money ebbs and flows. So, maybe you're a seasonal worker, or maybe you're like someone who does taxes, right? Where you have a season where you make money and then a season perhaps where you don't. However, you'll want to look at where the moon is in your natal chart, and that will let you know more information about your money house, which is again Cancer. So let's say you've got the moon in the seventh house of relationships. Now, the seventh house deals with your commitments and whatnot, but it also deals with the public. It also deals with your one to one facing relationships, your one to one relationships. So, with Cancer as your second house of money and the ruler of Cancer, the moon in your seventh house, one to one relationships are going to be very important when it comes to how you make money. Again, maybe you are someone that does taxes, or maybe you are a healer, right? Maybe you are a nurse or something like that. The moon in the seventh house tells you that relationships factor into the energy of your second house of money. So, hopefully, that makes sense when it comes to empty houses. Essentially, you would look to the planetary ruler of the sign associated with that house for more information. Now, the practical application of planetary rulerships doesn't just stop at empty houses. You can definitely get more information on houses that have planets in it by looking at the planetary ruler. So let's say you have a stellium in Libra. Let's say you've got Pluto, you've got Venus, you've got Mercury, and maybe you've got Saturn in Libra. Now, Libra is ruled by Venus. So, with Venus actually being in your Libra house, that's sort of the driving force of whatever house Libra represents in your natal chart. So, let's say that Libra is your fifth house of romance, self expression, and children. You've got a whole bunch of planets in there. So, when it comes to romance and all of that fifth house stuff, that's very heavy in your life because you have a lot of planetary energy there. But you also have the ruler of that house in that house. So, relationships, specifically romantic relationships, are going to be very prominent in your life because the planetary ruler of Libra is in the sign of Libra. All right. So, to wrap it all up with a nice, pretty little bow, when it comes to planetary rulerships, it gives more information, color, and meaning to the zodiac signs. And you can start playing around with this with your natal chart. Look to see where the empty houses are, and then look to see where the planetary rulers of those houses are located in your natal chart. And you can do this for every single zodiac sign, even the ones that have planets in that house. And again, this all just contributes to giving you more information about yourself. And again, that's my main purpose with astrology. It's all about self-discovery. All right, my loves. So that concludes this video on planetary rulerships. I sincerely hope that you were able to get at least one important piece of information that you can use going forward. And again, if you want to get my cheat sheet on planetary rulerships, that link will be in the pinned comment in the comment section below. All right, my loves. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I will see you in my next video. Take care.